All right. This is going to be rough. But also, this is going to be good. We have, I would like to think, one of the crazier matchups I've encountered. We did a little bit of a teaser over this last time. We have a very bizarre account. So this is almost the exact opposite of what we normally see in Grand Arena, right? This is a 4 Galactic Legends account with 4 ultimates. We have 3. He has about 100 relic levels over me, give or take. He has 30 more gear 13 than me. And yet we have more top 80 GP, you'll notice. Yeah, what's up, Nev? Yeah, this is bizarre. I don't know if this is just ends up being a younger account that's spent a lot, or if they... Yo, thank you. I don't think I've actually officially announced that, but it's been a really long day, and the length is only getting started. Awesome, thank you. I will grab that right after this. As soon as we have more shifts, we don't have much of anything. This is a Gar day. I said that this day was coming, and we're here. Unfortunately, we're very much here. Yeah, so we're essentially walking into this fight, for the most part, extremely outgunned. And, like, looking at this Zeta difference, they made a lot of the right choices. It felt like I was looking at the old version of my account when I was, like, really lean and scrappy. Yeah, so that puts today in a very interesting position, right? Efficiency was never really going to be an option here, right? Is at least my feeling on the matter. We have a plan text that doesn't want to cooperate, even though I checked this beforehand. Somehow we are actively caching old images live now. That's fantastic. Get your butt out here. Yeah. I was talking as it was coming in too. I was ready. Yes, we are all in. And the thing that I was at least feeling good on this is their defense plan was typically, I would say, pretty docile. Like, there was a Galactic Legend usually. You know, if it was Ray, it was going to be like Ray double tank. Nothing bad, right? We can work with that. And yeah, I really just didn't like the idea of bending over. You know, we've had a phenomenal defense this season. It's the one thing I would say is really strong about me this season. You know, offensive theory crafting, I still don't really like 3v3. I don't really want to spend time on that, but the defense has been great. So we pushed all of our chips in based on what he was showing in his defense history. He said, being the honorable opponent, he said that he wasn't going to wash, so I do think we are technically able to show this. I don't know, whatever. Could lead to cheating, but I do think it's gonna add some context for it today. Yeah, we are very much all in. We have honestly, the three real powerhouses of the season up front. These teams might not look like much, but they have massacred many teams, even just in the last couple of days. This Shakti, especially being 351 with the General Kenobi turning what could otherwise, you know, you can cheese out a fast Shakti with a Han Solo. But with this automatic crit avoidance, or crit immunity from Kenobi in the event of, let's say a Vader possible AoE setup. You know, something like that. I think this team will be tricky. And of course, we have our ludicrous speed 350 Darth Revan paired with a 351 Darth Malik. And then, honestly, CLS has probably gotten the most holes this season, but he did feel a little bit unworthy. He's gonna be even crazier next week. I did finally get the mod that I wanted to find, which is a protection circle. So we're getting there. 80 extra % health damage. You know, JCR can have a matchup that wins here. We have gotten holds against JTR, but any possible exposed damage they go down, you know, CLS goes into offense stance or whatever. It's off the table, right? They gotta kill him the natural way. So I'm really excited about that. Unfortunately, don't have that around this time, but this team has still been doing wonderfully. Account is 2 years old. See, I want to say that mine is 2 though. God, time is weird. Oh god, am I 3.5 years old now? When did Trey release? I started playing like 4 months before Trey came out. The Trey was like 6th February. I started in like November, late October. Yeah. So you can see my hand now. This is my poker hand. This is what we're working with. I guess at the top of the show, we'll also say shout out to Qui-Gon Jinn. They were pretty transparent with all of this. They told me when they were planning to attack, so we actually very easily could have just waited. But I figured this is the routine we've had. I don't necessarily like the idea of strategically delaying streams. I don't know. I value consistency on the streams more than anything, ideally, so here we are. And as you can see now, showing what's ahead a little bit. I don't know if this was a read. I don't think it was, because I have not executed this strategy at all. But I gotta say, I mean, props to him. If this ended up being a read, I don't know if this just ended up being a happy accident for them, because I've never done 3GL, and I've never done JKR gas against Ray. But so here's the situation. This is also updated text. Honestly, the text doesn't even matter that much here. I'm probably just gonna immediately hide it and then go in anyway, but just to make sure. Yes, this is essentially, you can see it up front and then we'll show it in a second here. This team for Ray ended up being, I don't know, let's say a little bit deadlier than he typically likes to use. And we know how we feel about JKR, or Vader versus Revan here. It's comfy. We haven't exactly had to do Vader versus Revan without Thrawn before, and that's gonna be happening today. Why do you win if you set 2 GLs? Because I think that the biggest value in the strategy isn't going to be that we posted 3 GL. I think it's actually the front wall. We have a... It's gonna flip back. Oh, it's a little bit too far back. We have a pretty staggering mod advantage. I did not exactly call that out. We are ahead of mods, and I do still... I think a little bit of this defense has to work on a bit of faith. Trusting the work that we put in this season, and trusting the results that have happened this season too. This defense has done stupidly well, right? We lost one match this season, and in that match, the only reason why we lost is because we couldn't execute on offense. The defense, like, automatically earned me that free win. So, yeah. I mean, if you're saying he set 2 GLs, I would say it depends on which. We did have a couple of contingency plans, including even being able to reach so far as back to, like, almost what we're doing today, but taken even further, just a bunch of preloading. But yeah. Alright. Let's take a look under the hood. So this is what we're looking at here. Actually, let's just switch on over. So this DR is exactly what we would normally be looking for. If we're going hunting for Vader versus Revan, classic. Relic 7, doesn't matter. We'll be fine. This Ray, on the other hand, typically he posts something along the lines of like a Holdo +1, like Holdo Zalbar, Holdo some other tank. And so, to me, this is going to be a fairly simple JKR gas thrown, and they had never posted Darth Revan in their history, so this whole Thrawn Fork situation is a bit painful now. That being said, if we're going to theory craft our way out of this weird deficit we're in, I think it does start with a couple of dead bodies if we're going to do this right. Which means we are taking a banner disadvantage to start, but again, given what I've shown you, where is he? Yes, it's a Gar Saxon day. Given what I've shown you, I think we can say to some degree that, like, he's going to have fails as well. Of that, I'm quite confident. Of that, I would guarantee you, right? Relic 7 DR has your heart. I was actually looking at my Sith Empire last night. I'm like, man, am I... We've got some relic signals left around. I don't know, my Bastila just feels a little bit bad sometimes. And, like, they've done so much work this season that, like, no, they probably don't need to, because all the success of their holds has been utility-based, but, like, they do make good usage of relics. Alright, so this should be pop, pop, and then the grenade. And then I think, from planning this out, this should be another 3 into go time. Right? This should be Ray, Lifeblood, into double RH basic, into second Lifeblood, into someone gets a kill. So I think we send 3. I know that we've done less in the past, but in this case, I think it's fine. Oh, I actually wasn't sure if she was, or if they were going to outspeed her. So let's see. So they're at 90%. Okay, so I think this should just be another set of 3. The whirlwind's essentially, like, the same thing is going to happen. The whirlwind just staggered it back a little bit. Alright. Finn did not even get the heal on her with his basic. That's nice. This is honestly, like, I know we haven't preloaded Ray at all this season. Chat is blocking. Begone. It was a nice Ray preload. Even back in the season where I was just like, yeah, we're posting everything every single time up front. No holds barred. There was always going to be like a 30 to 35%. This was just like a good, clean 25%er. So, if it's going to be go time, this is probably the closest it's going to get. I sound a little different. Do I have a new mic? No, but my computer has been doing weird things with my microphone automatically, and I don't know why or where or how they came from. I did like do some volume adjustments. Good luck. Thank you. This is gonna be a weird one. I haven't even done JKR gas thrown. I don't know if I've done it at all. I might have tried it once, and I think when I tried it once, I think I just tried it in the raw matchup and like didn't actually know to do a preload first. I didn't know that it was a preload comp. I thought it was supposed to win like out of box. The one thing I'm not sure about, the one extra little wrinkle that I haven't mentioned yet is Gas is built for defense. Gas is not necessarily built for prime time here. He's really lacking in damage. The one thing I could say on the damage front is we have a great amount of potency on him. So, like, maybe with the Force Grip, we land the daze more easily. We get the double damage on the kick. But I fully cannot tell you enough how little he is built for damage right now. We get a crit chance triangle, which, I guess is technically damage. Potency cross, speed set. We have crit chance. We have the free percent offense. Like 1% offense here, and then 39 flat offense here, and that's it. He is fully intended to go with JML, but I felt like if we were going to be able to deal with a possible raid today, this was going to have to be the way we go. So, yeah. I think it's probably just time. The one thing, so Gas and Thrawn are both priority targets for Resistance Hero. You make sure that Finn swap bomb are on CD. They did swap into Poe special into Finn grenade, and then they both did a basic. Or I think Poe might have done a second special. So their cooldowns are coming soon, but should not be available just yet. But we do have, I actually don't know the answer to this. I don't know if they will bully Thrawn over Gas. I mean, the protection circle is good here. It means that we're going to get a little bit of resistance to Poe's shenanigans. And then he is actually, if they go, I kind of hope they go for Thrawn first. Aside from the fact that I would prefer he get the fracture down first, of course. But like, dude is built, right? We get the protection on the arrow, even. Dude is built to slug it out. So, we'll see. You go for Gas. Lucky. Truly unfortunate. I don't think it'd be that bad, though. Alright. Well, this is pretty much for all the marbles immediately, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Got it lapped a little bit harder than I expected. I mean, this is still kind of our turn now. They did, however, get the combo back up, which I'm a little bit sad by. So let's see. They had the tenacity. The potency actually did kick in here, by the way. We did still land it. The biggest problem I think we're going to run into is because our Gas does so little damage, the Rey's health is just going to keep going up percentage-wise. So there's no way that she's not going to go above 50% health here. We're already going to be dealing with a health lock. So we are going to get the second cooldown reduction on our AoE because we successfully landed the daze. The cooldown reduction is tied to telekinesis, so we can't give Revan Terminator right now. Probably just supposed to take another health reduction. Again, we are very, very close to her hitting that 50% threshold, unfortunately. Go with the kick for the most damage first. Okay, we're in business. Now let's make sure we actually win the dang thing. I don't know why that felt so tense. Honestly, it's just because the gas modding sucked. Really. It's possible they could actually still kill a character here. Not if they... I mean, we've been controlling their cooldowns. That's actually not true. We should be fairly... Oh. Man, I can't keep up. One moment we have them on basic. I guess he wants the damage immunity though, so we wouldn't use him twice. Alright. Banner-wise... Gas unfortunately not quite able to get that full health protection back. Those little bits of protection region actually made all the difference there. It 100% did. Shoutouts to Finn for being a true bro here, nerfing my Gas's health reduction a little bit to push us over the top. It was truly unprecedented. Okay, so that actually might not have been the hard part, by the way. So there are other tools in the toolbox that I have not yet tried here. I don't know if we're quite that desperate yet. I might be down to send in another preload. So essentially, the thing that got mentioned, I basically posted my defense in the Gambit server a while back and was like, hey, like, what would you do against this that doesn't take a loss and doesn't require a GL. Talking about like my Revan defense. And someone mentioned this as a Hail Mary play. And it's kind of true. But I don't think we're quite that desperate. The big risk factor here being that we have a very... Calling this a very narrow window is almost kind of generous. Basically, if BSF lands AoE Fear on Vader, I think this just kind of crashes and burns. We do have a pretty fancy L3 here, right? Watt lead? Yes. Because of the Darth Revan Fear, Vader is cowering his 3rd slot position. This is the Hail Mary play. We know that our Vader is deadly enough. And we know that we need L3 to be in the 2nd slot. So that leads to Watt having to be in the lead. I think, given that we know that Rey is already dead, and I don't expect a whole lot of heat anywhere else, I think I am feeling a 2nd cooldown pull. This could be too much banner bleed, but I don't know that I feel great on... Right, it's basically 50-50. You could say that like the 50-50 is kinda... Technically not, because like if Bastila does try to land Fear on Vader and hits that 50% Fear resist, then he still favors us, but that's still... You know if that's really scary? If Vader gets AoE feared by Bastila, we just auto-lose. I would say it's pretty scary. Is weapon tech of Vader that good on this matchup? We don't get to. We are tank tech on L3 into cowering. I do think that we are priced into some more dead bodies. I'm trying to think of, like, if this happens to go south, what other DR killing option do we have? I mean, yeah, this isn't even really modded for any type of Hail Mary play like that. There was kind of like a Piet type of flavor. Haven't really tried it. Like, Piet doesn't really bring anything. We don't need potency, we don't need offense. Those are the 1-2 things we extremely do not need in this matchup. Like, Gambit knows there's stuff there. It was never like an official counter. This was just like if they were gonna kill my Darth Revan team in one shot, this would be like the way to do it, right? Because I run fast Malak. You could argue, you know, because he doesn't. I guess I'll show. This is pretty standard, you know, 334. You'd expect it to see like 334 to 340s-ish, 345 maybe. We have Malak going right after Bastila, so no real weirdness there. But the issue still remains, right? Vader cannot be in the lead slot. And we don't have Thrawn to patch up protection either, which is why I'm thinking this might be a situation where we need to go pull some cooldowns. Yeah, I think we're doing it. Right, with everything else we have left, Padme, I guess we could Padme to get it down to solo Malak, but I don't even know if that's that much of a marked improvement, right? I wouldn't feel great about that choice. Bounty Hunter the arm Malak. If we're gonna... I don't like the idea of spending a team and then not using it to go for the win here. Alright. We can't send Vader in without support. Not really. Is there anyone? That might not be true. He's fast enough. Nah, we would actually need him to be slower, though. So... Oh, wait, no. 273. What's our Vader? I've always said that Officer is basically just a bootleg Thrawn, so if we end up landing there... 273. No, so Vader is just faster out of box. We get there, actually. Ooh. So... this actually could work. This feels... Yo, okay, I think we're still in the same risk boat, though. If Basla... this time it's if Basla happens to hit Fear on First Order Officer, that sounds catastrophic to me. Because then we'll have Fear on Vader and Fear on Officer. The thing I was hoping for is that Vader was going to go slightly faster, so his Fear would reset to 0. You know, he would have, like, no thermometer. Marching orders over to Vader. Really not that bad either. This is so close to being good. But again, I think if we're trying to avoid RNG here. Alright, it's corpse time. We really just need to disarm that Basla. Well, this needs to be 2. It's Vader, Basla, then Malik, so 3 would actually give them a bit more priming. Ask someone to put this in arena. We've already identified the risks, right? And we can't test a preload in arena. Marching orders is trash. Oh, right. I keep forgetting that it's 100% thermometer and not an actual swap. Man. The one difference on him not actually being Thrawn. Alright, we're doing this. We're committing. And yep. And yep. And yep. Okay. The thermometer is not that bad either. Our thermometer's getting like about 10%, I want to say. So what are we facing? DR AoE, not that scary. Basla is going to shock though. We definitely want to be on L3 for that. If we bring L3, she'll cleanse herself. The AoE shock will be denied. Shotgun to other people is still annoying, but shouldn't really be that consequential. I think it is possible we're allowed to just do this now. Again, Piet, I don't think really adds much here. The only thing I would really like Piet in this matchup would just be that we get to call Vader for like more ability block attempts or something. That's like not even that good of an ad. Like we get offense up, but again, this is just about cooldowns more than anything. I think like what? We do have a little bit of a faster L3 unlock this season, which is actually good because it means that she's going to be able to get her protection up and running more quickly. And I like that. I do like that. Alright. There is still maybe a call, I think, to be focused on worrying about killing Basla here. I do like what you were saying about potentially softening it up for bounty hunters, but I do think that we just go for this first. Go for the full win. See what happens. Alright. So AoE into AoE shock into basic. I don't know that we technically need to do tank tech first. but I think I'm gonna. The weapon tech really does nothing for us right now, right? It really does not. Or we could just get it first anyway, because why not? Those are good players. Right. Wait. This is actually kind of comfy. We got the 10 debuffs. I didn't even think about that part. We're just gonna take you for free. That was like 700k, by the way. Hi. This part's gonna be painful. This part's probably gonna cost us L3 taunting. She's got a really good protection ratio, though. It might not. Or we could just land the ability blocks like the good players that we are. Yeah, Cole's already back up. This is... This is looking a little bit ugly for them. Yeah, she's chilling. We're popping protection. We got time. We're not taking this Cole yet. Kind of just want to wait a little bit. Unfortunately, because he was shocked at the time, he wasn't able to give himself protection. Yeah, I guess that was always gonna happen. I guess we don't actually have to worry about her upgrading, because she just has the automatic protection regen, right? That's kind of cool. Alright, now we got Watt getting some protection back on himself. I think that's pretty neat. So, we can walk out of here right now. And getting L3 to full banners is going to be so greedy. I think we just take this. Right. Watt giving us one extra devo for good measure. That's the game? It depends. We got through the difficult part, right? But we still don't know how his offense is going to go, right? Because, like, this is the problem is, well, I don't know. I guess we should find out if he hit anything else spicy in rear. But at least the thing that we can guarantee right now, which is fantastic, is we're not going to get stuck on a front wall, right? That was always going to be the concern. If you go for a backroom gambit, like hiding 3GL back, and then we just couldn't kill Ray, that would be literally auto loss, right? We've got some bandwidth here. Again, very costly way to get to this. I mean, we threw away, what, 50 banners to start? But that's also knowing how much carnage we've left waiting on defense. All right, could we not? Thank you. I appreciate that. We should have gone for the days. I don't have an ability block or anything. I don't expect this to really matter. Really should have gone for that days. Is it like, I don't know if this actually kills, but almost rather take it over here. Okay, we're fine. Just the saddest way for Trey to die. You survive all of that. Huh. So what does this mean? Wait a minute. He's got 2. Including he's got, like, you know, Sith Eternal Watt, right? Killing the sizable GBA's life just makes him hard to kill in 3. Yes and no. In my opinion, or in my experience, as long as you don't have Isolate out, it's fine. I don't know what this means. I feel like I should. Okay, we have shit ahead. I apologize. Too focused. I feel like it maybe has to be good news for me, but I don't know if it is. Because suddenly, it means that we're playing an efficiency game, which favors him again. He has JK or JKL Gas Vader and more. Does not really matter for this front wall. At all. Which is part of why I like this wall so much, right? Right, that 351 Malik, I'm pretty sure he has the same odds on, so I don't think we really worry about them being changed at all. These are the checks that I usually do before making sure that this stuff is going to be bulletproof, right? So we have, like, Shakti for a possible JKL. She's not necessarily the best of shapes. Hermit Yoda, we're also still plenty fast ahead. Revan, he would need 25 to go first, but like JKR lead. I guess if you go like JK or JKL, I don't. That probably could be DR. I guess that would require a second Old Republic to get there. Wait, am I being really dumb at math right now? Wait, he would need 45. What was I? I somehow landed on 25. Check us 5-0 first. I believe they were also the exact same boat. Right. Are we going for the full clear now? Absolutely not. Could not be any less off the menu right now. But it does mean we've got a ball game. Alright, with Watt down. Yeah, they're just absolutely... It's not... Yeah. We're not even going to talk about it. It's completely off the menu. So yeah. We have this team that has claimed a nest timeout in the past. Kara lugging around her big heavy gun, just taking forever. But that nest wasn't my nest. And you just soloist a different one there. On the front wall, he absolutely could. He's gonna have his work cut out for him in rear, I would say. But yes, he could try. Let's see how that go. Alright, let's knock out the gimmies. I think that's gonna be the way we have to play this down from now on. We knock out the gimmies and make the tough choices as they come up. Fish for the stun as always, never landed except for this time because we're good players. Yeah, let's take a double plague over here. Get the good stuff on B1 early. Or plague out, because why not? We did get the plague stun to stick early on. Appreciate that. Fish for an AoE stun here. We landed again, because we're just such good players right now. Look at this. Okay, come on. Third time was the charm for being unlucky, I guess. The lethal zombie basic, taking him down. We still have another zombie revive, by the way. We do need to drag Daka back up to full banners, please. Okay, non-crit is good there for us. Wow, she barely skated into that. She was like 95% actual. R5 Daka without a Zeta? Yes, that is this account writ large is... I guess it really is just like a young account that doesn't have the Zetas to work with yet. Like, his Galactic Legends are all, you know, missing a little bit of something. I still, you know, we went over this last time. Like, his JML doesn't have Legacy. He doesn't necessarily have, like, the Taunt Ignore or the Mastery doubling. But, yeah, I didn't take that Zeta for a while either. I agree with that. Basic for the guaranteed crit. Sure. The Zeta for this is the mastery gain one to link people do anything, right? I was looking at this last night trying to plan my Eternal Lock. What's my ally code? If you're asking to add me, then I'm down. But because the friends list is so strong, I just have like a rotating chair that I get people in and out on. But yeah, I'm down. If you're looking there for a couple more seconds, and you can just pause or whatever. All right. How are we killing Padme, actually? Unfortunately, this team does have all their Zetas. We know it's not Nest. We know it's not Troopers. Could be Padme Mirror in a way that I'm not really looking forward to. I still think Fin Poe ends up being a little bit on the side of desperation. This doesn't sound great to me. We could try like a weird Grievous without B1 set up. Doesn't sound terrible except for the part where team just actively dies and we have no way to get any healing back. Palpatine can always gamble for a little bit of early control. We need to know their speeds. Anakin fastest, so he will make some protection up, then Padme will kick and they'll get the mass assist. E. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we could mirror, but just Ahsoka being there feels like such a big disadvantage that we're constantly feeding them protection from her assists. I guess we actually could go like this route, actually. Wouldn't advise about B1 though. But if we bring B1, it just creates a really, really awkward matchup dynamic, right? Where we can only image GK, and that doesn't feel great to me. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's come back. I think I have to make some other choices first, because there is some annoyance up north. Damage on him isn't that crazy. I don't know if this is exactly comfy Nest Town, though. This probably just ends up being JCR. I'm not really expecting to see anything else here that changes my mind at this point. Sure. It is a fairly fast nest. Credit where that's due. Got some potency as well. Alright, continuing on the gimme train. Just making sure I selected the right team because I felt like I selected Hux for a second there. Yeah. We do have Fin Poe. We do need to remember that. I still think it's not that great sounding of a matchup against Padme. In fact, I'm pretty sure we tried that last season, and I'm pretty sure it crashed and burned horribly. But, wow. I'm not even pretending to have landed any debuffs there. That is just... Alright. If JCR can't get her exit out of the game today, R2 will handle it. In R2, I trust. One more for good measure. All right. Thank you. So right now we're kind of in eliminated destiny for 2 people. Getting back full banners. We're probably just supposed to make him relax. We avoid not getting burns where possible. Wasn't sure if we were being too stingy on cooldowns there, but it worked out. Okay. That was alright. We managed to avoid all the big major protection burn traps. For the most part, RG took a little bit of beating. That's fine. We have... I mean, non-Zeta Faust makes it seem a little bit less deadly. Like, he can still counterattack, and it could cause Sid Trooper to counterattack, and that would hurt. But you don't have, you know, the Hux lead, the basic damage, and Faust calling people to counterattack being as painful. It's still not going to feel great. This is probably going to be the most comfortable nest that we have. Maybe a Hail Mary on the Shock T team. Is there another team we would prefer to run there instead? We actually do have Han Chui still. Ooh. What does that mean? Doesn't mean anything for Padme. At all. It's not that great against Shock T. As I recall, it basically would just set her back 20% turn meter. Or 40%. I mean, kinda. Opponents can bully out Vandor really, really easily, though. And also, I did rob Vandor a lot last week, as you can see. It is actually a fairly squishy Duke despite the relics. Okay. So I think we go fishing with Nest over here first. There is a decent timeout risk here, but the Nest that lost last time. Why am I on Rebels? I just got Rebels on the mind right now. The Nest that lost last time wasn't quite bringing the heat that mine was bringing. Was Relic 5 with pretty mediocre mobs. No, we get to see Django one-shot noobs. We gotta figure out where he's going first. I don't... He could just go for like a Hux bully, but Sith Trooper makes it a little bit awkward. Yo, what's up, Nightmare? Welcome back. I don't know if I would describe today as kicking ass. At least on the offense side. All about defense today. It's been all about defense this entire season, though. So, like, they have really good buff generation, so our damage isn't really in question here for the most part. It's mostly just the issue of Kara and her whole deal taking a while to get there. It's a weird thing with YouTube. YouTube will demonetize you. At least in the first, like, 5, 10, 15 minutes. I think we've been long enough now. Let's see. I just need to come up with like a stream mini game for nests. It wouldn't be that hard to just like put her up in a side box. Just start doing like a watch party. Nah, watch parties you have to list though. That wouldn't work. Just pull up like an old episode of Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Those are about like 2 to 3 to 4 minutes. I'm not sure why Nest isn't counterattacking Kara that much. It's probably just Kara assists that look like Kara taking turns. A question about Mon Mothma team modding. But Mod says, should you put on Mon Mothma and Scout? Mon Mothma, I still haven't really done much with beyond. I would say just like give her really good speed. Her speed actually ends up being more important than I would say I've given her priority on in the last couple of seasons. For Scout, Scout is actually extremely close to Vader, except Scout doesn't really care about crit damage. Crit chance and potency with some good speed is all I really care about. Did I take down my stream elements? Give me a 4 out of 4. I did not. Definitely did not. Heck. Huh. I mean, I'm trying it. I just got a spinning wheel. I'm not sure. Oh. Yeah, it fixed itself. I don't know. Weird. Maybe just a stream element ticket. Alright, how are we doing? They are making some pretty crazy boss. I think we let it bleed down a little bit more. Maybe we'll take auto off, see where our cooldowns are at. We are getting there damage-wise. I don't think this is enough yet. Yeah. I think we should be fishing with for a special. I don't know. Maybe we are just gonna time out. We're 1 hit away right now. If she gets counterattacked, I think we actually just win. Oh, it was so close. All right, give me that good AoE. It might not be enough now. I think she redid a little bit too much. We're so close, but I don't think it's gonna... If POW basics us here. Oh, okay. That actually looks pretty bad. I was a bit more of a doubter there. Man, I wish Twitch didn't have the bet feature locked to partners. Man, I really thought that like Kara 10% HP survival was gonna be the one window that we had. We got there. Yes, we can unclench now. So we have toys and tools. The new Dooku feels problematic. The clone burst is still problematic. Hux? Hux is Hux. We might just end up doing Padme Mirror, which doesn't feel great. We don't like, it feels like 3v3 Padme Mirror just doesn't have that much courage to fly around. It wouldn't time out, but it sounds terrible. And we're still in the awkward spot of maybe needing to use Yoda. You don't have to be partnered to use predictions? Wait. For real? Maybe it was just that the rollout was partner only originally, and like not even every partner got it? I was looking at that. Huh. And I mean, giving up Fast Leota feels so bad here. Oh, sorry for you. I was including affiliate when I meant that. Yeah. Basically, just you have to be affiliate or partner, and we have bypassed that, let's say. That's specific. She absolutely does. You know, I mean, we could see them, right? They were making a good amount of buffs for us there. It was not as good, but they still gave her a nice meal. Those are tough choices. I mean, on the first order front, we have crew fitting pretty in. But like beyond the traditional old school or like some type of like Sith Trooper flavor, Sith Trooper might very well end up going over with Palpatine. We do still have Imp Troopers. I still feel very, very nervous. I guess this is Fast Nest, and we outspeed her, so she would get rid of her purple protection fairly often. But again, without a Death Trooper solution, yeah, I'm not feeling that one particularly. What about you? Wait, is this kind of sick? That feels a little bit too bulky for 3v3 troopers. Right, because she doesn't buff her own speed, right? So if we could just kill her on the Vera's Mass Assist in one go, it could actually work. I guess we could open with Piet's Days? It's going to cost us some damage for doing that. We're going to miss on a basic assist call from not having Imperial Ambition out, but I mean, problem is it can be resisted. I think I'd want the Mass Assist. I don't know. I think we have to try this. Right. Troopers, of course, against Padme, never going to work. Riz against Hux. Wait a minute. There is the part. So the worst we would have to deal with is a Hux swap. How fast is Vera's?
Patreon soon, carrot trademark.
The reason why the Patreon isn't out yet is because I'm doing some, I think, extremely cool stuff that I've always had planned. Thank you for the donation, man. It is, I think it's going to be worth the wait. It's also because we're trying to crank out 2 videos in the next 24 hours, which I realize how that sounds, but I think is within reach as long as I, grab some caffeine and get to work tonight. The Vader mod is in the Vader video is in the final stretch. I'm targeting for it to be out by tomorrow evening because lock is going to start then, and I want people to have that information because there is some useful remod stuff, right? The Patreon's coming. I know it keeps on falling on the back burner, but this time it's on the back burner because yes, I made some more work, but yeah, I'm excited for what's coming there. I'm excited to not have that alarm go off. Apologies. Is this crazy? Like, the counterattacks. So, I'm thinking that, like, yes, Hux blocks a turn meter. I guess if he swaps over to First Order Stormtrooper, then that would be disastrous. So that probably stops us from trying. But my thinking was that, like, because those two are so slow naturally, it would actually give us a chance to just waltz in and just mass assist Hux. But yeah, I'm starting to lean towards no on that one. Alright, I kind of want to try this. I could see this working. It does sound a little bit clunky. I want to make sure that we're going first. Or not. I mean, you're on speed set 35, but there's no Rex, so we're still fastest. It doesn't sound bad. If we don't kill Shakti, she's probably gonna be pissed.
Oceans of content.
Actually, unironically, that is the goal. You'll know soon. We'll get there. Thanks again, man. Is that? I assume you're sending anonymously. I just want to make sure that the stream elements is behaving. All right. This might be an unfortunate way to use Piet. We're kind of leaving Palpatine in the dust. All right. Give me death. Please? Ooh, okay. We're in business. These counterattacks are still less than ideal. We've got Piet coming in with the days here shortly. We're kind of just out of steam now. Don't worry about it. We got more damage on the Piet basics, so we're swinging it back over here. God, you are not. I guess it's because we're on damage botting Piet down. Unfortunate. The Piet basic used to be such a powerhouse staple. The way I ran troopers. Alright. Why is the L in playbook an I? Because Twitch does not allow you to reclaim account names that people made and then didn't use. So there was the option, and I could switch again. There's like the playbook YT. I know that having the I for an L is like really, really, really bad. Like I think we had someone try to raid once at first and they didn't realize that the I was an L. I don't know, like having a Twitch name that has YT in it, I don't know. All I know is I got extremely lucky when I first made the channel that youtube.com/theplaybook wasn't taken. If you ever become a partner, they let you take a previously taken name. Damn. Okay. See, way too late. Twitch is so insanely popular, right? So many names are taken now that like there is no clean degree of twitch.com/ or twitch.tv/the playbook. There would have to be some sort of wrinkle. And so this was the compromise that, at least for general presentation, when you see my name on the website, looks like the playbook. I copied. Sure. I mean, whatever. It is a somewhat generic concept. I wouldn't be surprised if other people have done it. I don't think they would have done it the way I've done it, though. Alright, we've got Grievous. Are we doing Grievous versus Padme? I think I might be talking myself back into it. I don't think the mirror is going to feel great at all. Like, really... Aside from the part where, like, GMI stealing buffs would be kind of sick. We could, like, just kind of rack up a really nice assortment of buffs over time that he would just occasionally delete and we would feel sad. But... there is also, I guess, this angle. And calling it an angle feels a little bit generous. It's just kind of the we all die together, hooray angle, which is that Rex Nuke is pretty good. Rex Nuke could be evaded by Foresight, though. I think we're foresighting a decent amount. I don't like it. I mean, I guess. Just... I really don't think it can be B1. This is like... this matchup will burn out quickly. Man, when they build a protection bomb, though, we really need B2 to be able to do his job. This doesn't feel good. I'm not sure any of these really do. Are you tenacity? Ooh. So maybe. God, but not bringing B2 is like just as hellish. Not bringing any of these people, right? In this case, Courage is just gonna roll us over. Do we have 4-stack protection or probably Uncrit Void plus tenacity? So our protection ratio isn't even that high right now. So Courage would just kind of chew through him, most likely. Or is that wrong? Their Courage isn't that great in 3v3. We might just be able to heal tank him. That sounds really, really greedy, though. Go 4% tenacity versus... There's no way. I mean, Magna countering is going to be giving them a lot of free protection as well, though, and that sounds kind of disastrous. Maybe I'm just on this. Yeah, I don't know. It all sounds great, and it all sounds terrible at the same time. Just a whirlwind of emotion. We really shouldn't have been aiming at Anakin there. We should have been aiming at Kenobi. That was a misplay. Why did he not make protection bomb? That's a little bit painful. We're healing B2 because we don't really care if Grievous takes a hit or two. I guess we can heal Grievous. It doesn't really matter here. B1 goes first, so like, even though this looks like, we could maybe try to snipe Anakin, that's just not how this plays out. Man, they are just on point with the Grievous kicks today, huh? Alright. He's lost so many stacks. Please. So if we basic... If we AoE, we're gonna get shredded. Yeah, maybe they don't have the Omega. That'd be wild, though. Of all the Omegas to skip. We could guarantee that we stop them from getting Courage. B1, B2 might outspeed them. He probably will. But maybe we kind of just want to piss them off a little bit. We want... I was going to say we want B2 to activate, and then dude just fell asleep even though we just got absolutely blasted. So, what do I know? He didn't even... That was a pretty rough low roll there, if I do say so myself. So B1 being dead here actually does kind of help us, though. Like, we can actually just kind of do that now, and it's really easy. So actually, I can't even complain that much. That's kind of funny. You've got some Courage coming. We can try to just, like, nuke it down a little bit. Like, this is the nice part, as our Grievous is just kind of nuts now. Did you need B1 alive to get you to this point? Before the battle, if I planned on B1 dying first, which was a pretty safe assumption, B1 dying first is the best possible outcome. It kind of, like, this is actually exactly what you want. You want Grievous to ramp for a long while, and then you want B1 to die so he stops making protection before he tries to hit. And then you just start mowing. I've never really, like, usually, at least in 5v5, this used to be a counter that I ran a lot, and then Relics came out, and I think it kind of disrupted the balance. Usually, the way that you've always fought that battle was just, like, B1 was never dying, because you had the usual 5v5 tank line, right? You had Magna Guard, you had B1, you had B2. Grievous, plus Newt, or whatever else. Like, you were stable, they were stable, because they weren't killing you. You had B2 just chilling, never really getting focused or anything, because they were always hitting Magna Guard. And so you just had to kill them. You literally just had to kill them. You're always aiming GK, and all you have is Grievous AoE, B1 AoE, and B2 AoE. And that was how you killed Anakin. That's how you killed Padme. That's how you killed Ahsoka. B1 dying there kind of breaks that. We could just do whatever. So, given that I'm not sure that, like, let's say B2 dies first, right? I don't know that we win at that point. Because if it's Grievous plus B1, then that puts us in a really, really rough position. Yeah, that didn't feel too bad, actually. That was really bad banners. I wouldn't really call that like an interesting find. Like, yeah, our team really just got rocked. 0 protection banners or health or anything. But like, I like the distraction. That felt kind of cool. The one downside is we've gotten this far, and we still have a lot left that we're not really using. Which, again, I don't know. Despite everything we were holding, I don't know that any of this really felt phenomenal for anti-Bastila. Speaking of... Obviously, Nest against Bastila lead Yoda was like an absolute godsend for her back in the day. Her being fast, though, I wonder if that would set up for Yoda to be able to take her down. Right. She doesn't have the tenacity, so Yoda will be able to land that stun on her, assuming he does actually land it. Yeah. Like, worst case scenario, she's not going to be able to crit Jolie for the most part, unless I really hurt his mods. We kind of hurt his mods, but he's still okay. This doesn't sound that bad. We should avoid any attack shenanigans early on. Their potency is great, but I think we should be okay under. Let's see, we need 233 tenacity. Bastila is what? 150? Do we need on average like 80-ish? We could just go the Padme route. We already know that that can be a little bit annoying, but as long as our taxes don't get distributed too early, I think we should be fine. We know that Ahsoka was going to feel better in this than whatever we ran last time. Let's try this. It's fast, non-tenacious Nest so that we know she's going to cycle her purple protection often and we can get that heal block on her. That all feels pretty alright to me. Alright. All that is good so far. They blew pretty much everything we want to see blown. Get a little bit of extra protection for our trouble. Get a dead Dooku for our trouble. Fishing for a stun. She's not that tenacious. I think we get it. taxes continuing to be paid. A little bit overkill, but I'm just trying to get some protection built up. Alright. Just looking for that heal immunity. Or we could just have a weak Ahsoka. Oh, Ahsoka has no damage. I'm actually really surprised that she took that. That's Relic 7 with the Hell Circle. My Ahsoka's like Relic 2 with 0 damage modding at all? Hmm. So... Wedge feels kind of bad here. I mean, we take out the dominance, right? But he's going to still have his advantage. How quickly can we reasonably kill him? He's fairly healthy. We're not bringing any real percent health damage beyond Chewie's 20%. He's kind of bulky. Right? Got some extra bulk on the arrow as well. I think we want a good... third. I don't think we go the Wedge route. Wedge gives us a lot of offense, but... Better we just go Fin Poe show, but I feel like... Poe being this low, I think we kind of need to get him a little bit higher. Oh, do I want to challenge record works tomorrow? Sure. I'm down. Yeah, hit me up. Let's do it. I still haven't actually done a legitimate Relic 8 SLK run yet. I have to... This 24 hours are going to be so packed. Whatever. It's low on the priority totem, but I assume at that point... What time is the Merc, I should actually ask. Yeah, I don't know if there's any real way to walk out of this without getting some amount of protection chip, right? If only he was a little bit faster. Wait, actually, Lando could maybe almost have done it, but he's on defense. Alright, that was good. Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna write a note for this. I mean, like, every time, like, Fin Poe has been so juicy for offense, potentially. But, like, if we really just wanted to, like, shut the fight down before it even starts, we really need those numbers to be higher. And, like, if I'm gonna hold them for offense, that's the kind of power that I want, is, like, take a fight that's a pain in the butt and just, like, immediately. Boss Cleed might end up being the best banners, but that feels really, really optimistic. That feels naive. Wait. I don't know why I was even thinking about this. I completely forgot. For whatever reason, I think she just ended up being pretty low in the sorting. So yeah, whatever plan we were talking about originally there was indeed the case, that they were going to swap to First Order Stormtrooper and cause a taunt. I guess Yoda against Hux can be a little bit unfortunate feeling. We do have high crit chance. We don't get it though. We get countered a lot. Does he not have the TM block? Oh, yo, I was so much more scared of this team than I needed to be. I am not used to people not having Zetas. Yikes. Okay. Well... How are you not dead? What? Hello? She doesn't have an advantage. True. No, but I swear that even at the start, no, I'm pretty positive. Maybe it's because we did the AoE and got counterattacked? Oh, that was actually kind of Galaxy Brain then. It's possible we should have just taken the boss kill there. I really don't like having this low health though. Like I would love to steal the defense and the crit immunity, but I don't know that we survive it if we do. I mean, we can now. Still varying degrees of success. I think with the buffs back on Bastila. Oh, we're close. Put you on timeout. I want to try to get this all done in one stroke. Or maybe I'm just supposed to do this. Whatever. We have AoE foresight. I think we have enough lifesteal. Yeah, we should have popped a Jolie special on Yoda at the end there. Okay, no, he did totally have it. Yeah. So that GMI splash actually ended up being kind of clutch. It wasn't. We drew out the advantage immediately. I'm just used to Hux getting advantage back way more aggressively. Wait a minute. This is kind of interesting, right? It means that we're doing Negotiator against Rebels, which we used to do that a lot. This doesn't really mean anything. I respect the ship all in. Well, not even all in. He's just one out of two. But he does have a kind of legitimate Bistan, right? 3 and 3. I mean, it's not actually legitimate unless they're both R8 at this point, but who am I to say? There's no fake ship fan when I see one. If you're not even relic binding your pilots yet, what are you even doing? Who's our +1? This battle almost always goes to ult. I've got the turn order down in what feels like a really, really nice way. But we do need a little bit extra sustain. That's actually the SLK, Aaron. We can. But, literally no combination of characters here can kill Kylo, so I'm not sure. Is there really any point? I feel like no. Like, even if we could get a bounty hunter snipe on Daka and then kill zombie, there's just not enough punch through. Plus, it's a relic Kylo. Interesting triangle. Alright, who's your +1? Ideally, like, really do just kind of want it to be Plo Koon. IG-88 can kind of be an emergency patch up from ults, but that kind of assumes that we're already kind of winning on the board. And he can come out safely, because otherwise he's just going to die extremely quickly. Yeah, big beefy pilot. I don't think we're going to find too much support. I mean, if we had, like, Gauntlet, it'd be the place to use them, I feel like. Alright. This turn order is going to be flawless. Don't always get to take that. I'll take it. Vulture dies as usual. We aim at Anakin as usual. I haven't actually had a clean Hyena. We could almost just give the overcharge to the Vulture. Do we ever get punished? Nah, okay. I do want to just play the way I'm used to this going, which means that we need the days to be off the Sun fact for the turns to occur in the same order, because he's going to get a lot of Terminator here. Alright, so here's the basic. We get the Terminator off of Vultures. They're going to call out Clone Sergeant, please. Yes. At this point, this move doesn't really matter too much. We can take it over here. We're not putting Vulture Droids here. We put it over here because it's less Terminator, so it won't anger Anakin. And then we're basicking over here. To avoid doing enough damage, we take the AoE. Which means we have successfully avoided giving Wild One's Terminator, or Negotiator Terminator. So now we have this juicy Hyena AoE. There's a defuse on Anakin's ship. See? I know this matchup. Or at least I know how to play this matchup with a big ship disadvantage. Putting the Vulture Droids over here now. Like, we can take this. I don't think it kills. And, like, once it doesn't kill, the taunt goes away. So, kind of who cares? None of these are particularly, like, awesome. Not a bad pickup. So we are probably just gonna get ulted at this point. It's fine. I always don't like using these specials now. Just feels like a waste of Vulture Droids in the future. Especially since we're kind of just expecting a board wipe. And I guess having IG-88 out would have been kind of nice. He should be dead to Debts. We'll give you a little bit of a push. Ow. Okay. Pretty much what I was expecting. 58, not great. But I'll call it a happy landing. Alright. So this is gonna hurt. That's my analysis. In target locks we trust. We did need to kind of be thinking about the Clints. That breach might have been a mistake if you land the target immunity plus days. Could get punished fairly easily. Fortunately, we're extremely good players, so not an issue. Man. Oh. We almost got to the Anakin basic. We might get some protection, or we might get a banner off of that. We can keep it. And that's gonna be a pain though. I think we should be back up on AoE shortly. This is gonna clear it off, but I just want the taunt anyway. We're not quite there. His maneuver might actually be coming back up shortly. The Sub and Hulk might be a little bit of a wasted addition. And not okay. The offense rample's enough. We did lose the shield disruptor, unfortunately. We could keep him alive. He's taunting though. Alright, fine. I don't know why my banners were so alright. Why did no one ever actually end up dying? I mean, we got the double target lock Vistan plus Wedge at the start. I feel like tradition has been broken here. Like, if Plo Koon's ship doesn't die, I just don't even feel alive. Well, we killed everything killable. I really don't know what this means. Like, I feel like if we attacked second with this performance, I think I would feel. I mean, obviously we would have known if we won or lost already. But I think what I did will be alright. I feel like he can play to his win condition with what he has left, and I think it gives him an advantage. Fuck, is the last one you try to hit. In that case, though, we know he had used maneuver like one turn ago. So, Ebon Hawk, like I knew that Ebon Hawk was going to double breast the kill there. Just a question of timing. I think we had like one more turn before he was going to re-maneuver. I don't know. So I think it's a shot at clearing? No. Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean the top wall isn't the most devastating thing, right? But I don't know, maybe with pick-aparts. Like, the thing is, I think if he, well, if he could look at my defense back wall and plan things out, I think he could achieve a full clear. He would have to, like, cooldown pull aggressively, I think. But he posted 2 GL, so he's got 2 GL against my 3 now, so that kind of makes him also the underdog. But again, I think the issue being we need these two teams to achieve similar to what I did. And Luke can do some heavy lifting as well, but it's just a question of... Man. I don't know. He went a lot harder on defense than I was expecting, by the way. So the fact that we were able to get all of this, was not expecting the DR, wasn't expecting the raid double bro. Yeah, a lot of bleed in the process though. So this is kind of my opinion on this matchup though, right? Is like, it felt like he had all of the, I call it priority, but like all of the initial pressure in the matchup. So it felt like it was on me to try to do something to swing the momentum in my favor. So if he did like the usual thing, which is like, I was expecting like raid double tank and no Revan, no second GL, because he has never posted second GL ever in his recent 3v3 history. then in my mind, it was like, okay, I know that he's going to have to fight 3 GL with his GL. Eternal Emperor can pick up 1 for pretty alright banners, but the other 2 are going to be a little bit messy, and then his defense will be a little bit lighter. So from there, with the teams that I have, it would be more favorable. The fact that he went a bit harder on defense as well, the fact that he posted a GL rear makes me actually think that he didn't have the read on what I was going to do. Because if he had that read, he could post SLK up front, and we would just be hosed. Oh, Prime, he actually told me when he's attacking, which will be tomorrow. But that doesn't take away from what you said, which is that, yes, PrimeBot is a fantastic tool that all of you should check out. I feel like most people who are watching the stream probably know about PrimeBot by now, but if you don't, you should. And it's free. And free is... It's very easy to get your money's worth, let's say. This is Citrio Hood. Oh, let's see. I mean, she's got a hood. Like a pretty... Like, down to covering her eyes is pretty impressive. This is like... does this count? This feels like more of like a headdress type deal, right? I don't know if this really counts as a hood. Scion... look. He might have at one point, but his skin is just a little bit too sensitive now. Needs the open air. What's a PrimeBot? PrimeBot is a tool that you can use to put a watch list on your opponent that it will DM you whenever they do anything Grand Arena score related. So, typical use case would be you get a notification the moment they start attacking, so you can go heat up some popcorn, grab yourself a nice cold drink, and then start stress drinking because you don't know if you're gonna win or lose. Doesn't launch you with a drink command. I'm still disappointed the bot doesn't do a cool flip. I keep on asking this. No one can really seem to do it. I mean, let's see. Should be crit avoidance. I do have one strategic question. I do think I need to start posting Geos on defense alongside CLS. Or something. It's hard to say. Because Triumvirate gets priority on some of those power teams, and it raises some questions on... Yeah. I think Geos get some extra value. But man... Okay, so what do you all think? I'm just going to leave this open to the floor. What's your read on this here Newt Dooku team? I kind of like that Newt's easy to kill so that he'll go into stealth sooner. We have... Dooku doing pretty alright for himself. Been doing some cardio lately. 332. JTR will still get out front, but JTR doesn't really get to close this match quickly for the most part. Got some extra protection on him just to try to fight off % health damage, although obviously not that much. Not really too fond of this primary, but it was just fascist option I had. Fastest option I had. This penalty feels like overkill. I would almost rather just try to give him protection or something. But the big question mark for me was, is Geonosis Brute Alpha worth it for this? If the hope is that we get some taxes going, like some tax stuns, like kind of remove opponent's control, then Brute Alpha felt so much better to me than Magna Guard, B2, B1, any of that stuff, right? B1 was like kind of interesting, but I feel like if I was going to go the B1 route, I would want to have like Gear 13 Newt that could take a hit first and not explode. You think CLS GBOC3 probably wrecks it? He did actually hold that. I didn't think about that. I was expecting to fight that today too. I'm pretty sure he used to post it. I think CLS GBOC3 probably wrecks it. I thought I saw him attacking for a second. I thought I saw a team, like, move. I think it was just Luke's lightsaber. His potency's not actually that high. I mean, my team's tenacity isn't that high either, so it doesn't really... Plus, he's stealing C-Loss potency anyway. I mean, he doesn't have the learn control Zeta, he doesn't have the lead Zeta. He's got a little bit of tenacity, but without learn control, this tenacity set actually does nothing. I could see CLS actually getting stun taxed here. Right? Can Dooku can't be evaded against GR, right? Or can he just not be evaded? Why am I looking at Galactic Republic for the Separatist? Oh no, I'm totally right. She just can't be countered or evaded. I think CLS could get stun taxed. I can see that happening. Taxes, don't care about blind. CLS would have to go into offense stance and then go for a Terminator removal on Dooku. Actually, wait. Hold up. Yeah, Dooku's going first. Dooku's going stealth. And, sorting by speed would typically, yeah, CLS is gonna be fastest. Yeah, I wasn't sure if they, like, back when they gave Dooku all the GR specific stuff, I wasn't sure if they made the can't be evaded part GR only. But yeah, who's got it? Yeah, I don't think CLS takes that. I think that would feel, well, C-3PO is going first, but it doesn't help, right? Because it's still going to be, everything except for Brute is going to be hidden. So, I don't know. This is the one uncomfortable thing about attacking first is now, I mean, at least I know when he's going to be doing it, so I'm not just like actively, constantly checking. But, yeah, he also doesn't have to sit down on Chupian. It's gonna be interesting. This is basically mods and Zetas versus gear. Did I look at what his JK was missing? Good question. So was that just an insane low roll for Anakin? Dude's got it. Huh. That's funny. He's even got the crit chance set. I mean, so B1 gives us crit avoidance, right? So, like, kinda, yes. I guess he only had, like, 36% chance to crit. Plus, Magnaguard had a crit avoid arrow, so technically 35% chances to crit. I guess it's not actually that wild. It looked really weird, though. Brute resistant tribute. Like, yes, I could see it working. I feel like it has... If you had, like, Tenacity CLS, I would say... even Dooku then still has enough potency, right? It would take, like, 250% Tenacity or something crazy. Ignore the missing mod. It's just all for event purposes. Right, but, like, even with the potency set missing, dude's already at jacked potency. Especially if Dooku gets blind. I mean, this can be evaded, this can't. I don't know. I'm curious. I feel good about my defense's ability to get holds. My biggest concern is that given how much banner damage we took on offense, I'm not sure that'll pay for itself. I hate this. I hate what I'm about to say. We left a lot of teams unused on offense. I agree with all the choices that I made, though, but that does call into question if I could have gone even a little bit harder here on defense. We didn't use Han Chewie. we, like, don't get me wrong, we were definitely going to hold Hanshui for offense because he does like to post Bastila, Jamel, Watt on offense a lot, and Han had to be present for that. Blind subs counters? Oh, that's true. I, like, in Chupio's kit, everything else just feels like so straightforward, and then I always forget that they just bothered to give him this clause. I forgot the same thing too when I was saying that I thought that Ness could beat Monmouth with Chupio. Like, it literally just like a random piece of text at the bottom after you've read everything else. It's just like a haha. Weird thing. There's still the issue of everyone starting stealth, but Chupio would dispel them. You're dealing with some 50% RNG at that point. You still have the issue of Newt will re-stealth himself, but the Chupio blind is a 2-turn cooldown, so it actually wouldn't be that hard to get it back. Every time you go harder on defense, you feel like you're screwed. This is actually something I'm going to be doing a lot more often, but the caveat being he'll be in the picture. I mean, so this is the thing, right? For this channel, for this account, for 3v3, I don't spend any real time thinking about a 3v3 offense. So I've been having a blast doing defense this season, but I don't really have the knowledge to have like offense efficiency to match. Which is also partly why I'm just extremely excited to go back to 5v5, because that's the video game that we spend time on and no one understands. I don't know, maybe I could just lean into, like, maybe this is just the point in time where it's like, alright, we'll learn some 3v3, we'll learn some ships, kind of just get our full act together, because 3v3 is coming back often enough now that I can't just pretend as the unwanted family member. It's like, alright, we do just kind of have to work some stuff out, don't we? Glorified epic confrontation. Hey. We're gonna have some toys for 5v5, let me tell you. We're gonna have some options. I'm actually really, really excited. Thought you honestly didn't make good decisions. I will say, I still am relatively lean. So if there were like some callouts, Cam, L3, but I kind of like L3. I think L3 has earned her investment. Vandor, Nine Sisters I think are justified. While being this high relic was a consequence of this. I still think I am relatively lean, because this, like, I have like the same top 80 as like Xerath and Ando, but I'm still 1.5 mil less total GP. So like, I think the leanness is still there. But the biggest place where I haven't been lean anymore is Zeta's. Relic 7 Synth Eternal Emperor over at Relic 7 GK. Look, you can keep on going away now. I'll start racking up the I told you so's next season. I'll keep on farming. We'll get there. I am gonna be doing some wild stuff next season. I'm ready. I'm excited. Like, we were already in such a strong spot to begin with, and now it's just gonna get gross, I think, in terms of defense. And like in offense, we have the tools, right? Like, we see a Relic 7 Kylo. I don't think we'd really feel pressure to put Luke on defense, because our C teams are kind of the same value as that Luke team, I would say. But also, yeah, it's got some flexibility. It'll be interesting to see how we do. I'm really curious to see how for Galactic Legends is going to impact my matchmaking. Nev, Because, yeah, I fought Ando twice and Lazy Turtle once, and it's this really, really weird contrast. I mean, like, let's see. So we don't even have Eternal Emperor activated. That's coming tonight. Oh, I guess we forgot it's a unified image now. This is the one thing I was really trying to sidestep, by the way. I feel like the problem is people having Sith Eternal Emperor is like the one big Achilles heel for the defense strategy that's been going insane this season. And 3 versus 4 just feels kind of awkward. I don't know, maybe today was a little bit of an overreaction. I guess whether we win or lose will determine whether it was or wasn't. I mean, yeah, so like Xerath has like 2.3 top 80. And what, Sith Eternal Emperor? I mean, what's Kylo Ray? 49k? So I'm like right there next to him, but for whatever reason, the matchmaking just won't let me fight them. I don't know. I was actually talking about this a little bit recently. I have the feeling that there is a soft cap in matchmaking. So because I make all these pre-JC overlays, I actually have all of my old hot utils saved up. And I was going through, and even at low 5 mil, the highest opponent that I've ever been able to fight is 7 million GP. The widest gap that I've ever had was 1.7, but that was when I was at 5.3. And then as my GP has gotten higher, that gap has essentially shrunk. But even though my top 80 GP has gone up like 200,000, or even higher, it still won't let me fight people above 7 million GP. And I don't know why, and it's kind of frustrating. Honestly, the way that the system's behaving at this point, I don't even think Sith Eternal Emperor will change it. Your top 65 is going to get a lot higher after Eternal Emperor. Yeah, I mean, it is. For sure. I guess if it's going by top 65, then I haven't actually gone back and checked that. But for 3v3, it would be top 80, right? But this phenomenon has been happening everywhere, every season. I really don't get it. It feels like CG almost got scared of people saying like, I got, 2.4 million higher GP opponent or something. Like, I found this out by accident when I was like, someone on FC Nova was like trash talking me saying like, yeah, you only ever fight like weak people in Grand Arena. And I like did a compare on our accounts, and I was actually higher in top 80. It was like, I mean, I guess technically still not incorrect, but like, I'm not built to fight weaker people. I'm like literally built to have all the top end PvP stuff for the most part. I'm not even missing that much anymore. Like maybe Garrett 13 Triumvirate. What would be the biggest hole, I would say? Bounty Hunters. I would maybe want my Bounty Hunters to be a little bit polished up. We just slide back in. I mean, if we're talking like DR killing, they're already kind of there. Imp Troopers can snipe Sith Eternal Emperor, but they do... I think they're going to lack a little bit of firepower over the top for certain matchups. A matchup with Oblivion 1 or something? Kinda, yeah, honestly. This was always the end goal. Like, this is the... so this is the tragic thing for me, right? When I, set about to make a lean account in Galaxy of Heroes, my whole thinking wasn't, I'll have all of the best stuff, and I'll fight weaker opponents. My line of thinking on it was, I've gotta make all of the right decisions to get all of the most powerful stuff efficiently so that I can compete at a top level. And then the way the game's... I mean, I can do that for Territory Wars, right? Because I can get into high guilds and compete there. But, any matchmaking related stuff like Grand Arena is just you're down there, right? All the card on the table? I would like to. I don't think it's viable, though, right? At this point, I'm slamming Sith Eternal Emperor gear. I'm gonna try to sneak in Assassin. I think I can get away with it. Yeah, I am officially joining GA Center now. It is ICMS of this coming week. GA Center is part of the Escape podcast. They have this, I believe the seasons are 6 months long. It's basically the thing that this game I feel like has desperately needed for a long time, which is kind of a hub for personalities and known players to compete against each other. It essentially turns, right, because like we have this, right? But like this really doesn't mean much. Who was it that said this to me recently? There was someone who told me you can actually just miss a join on a GAC week and you can still get to Kyber because of how inflated point values are now. Like, so to have something extra to work for, which by the way, if you want the actual answer for why it's like, oh, why didn't you go for this Kylo at all? Because I don't want to throw in battles lost, because that's a stat they track. That's the one unfortunate downside, I would say, of being a defensive player in some respects, is like, this is maybe a less attractive scoreline to hit, but no one cares about battle losses, by the way. I kind of care. Call it unnecessary ego. I don't know. Because, like, that was the thing. It's like, if I can go heavy on defense... Because, by the way, GA Center does honor defensive players, which is something that GAC has never done, which is fantastic. So the whole idea being, like, if you win every round, my understanding is that they will compare the banner difference. So, like, over the course of the season, like, let's say I win today, and let's say I didn't drop that match last week because of that bad Rey versus Kylo choice. Even though my offensive scores haven't been that great, the banner gap between myself and my opponents has been staggering. I feel like I would be insane on that front. I mean, we did have like 1 or 2 no-shows, but like the defensive power has been there and has been coming through. Yeah, the win has to come first. And like, last time I think I threw. Today, I don't know. Today, this is like, I'm not going to forget this matchup for a long time. This was just such a crazy thing. This feels like what you were saying about, I thought you used to be lean. This is the type of stuff I used to be doing. He did cut some Zetas I would still probably have taken. Like, combat analysis you absolutely take for the crit cleanse is just ridiculously good, but like, this level of Zeta pinching, granted, I guess in this case he's not Zeta pinching, he just doesn't have them yet, but like, this is an insane account. This is like, I like refer to this as Mega Bus. This is like Bus, but for ultimate GLs. Like, again, I just want to call to the fact that, like, according to the matchmaking system, he was the underdog here. He had less top 80 GP than me. And by the way, this is before the Sentinel Emperor Rex. I actually went, because I had done a compare on this before, so I made sure this top 80 GP is not including all the gear I just dumped. And according to the system, because of like the Zeta placements that he had, the system was like, all right, you're a little bit favored here, at least in terms of top 80. It's like, wow, it is ridiculous. I do think the lack of some of the Zetas is going to hurt him, but I don't think he's missing enough that it's going to doom him, right? Like, BB-8 not having roll the punches kind of hurts JTR's viability. But yeah, I was really hoping that we could get to 4GL without fighting 4GL, because I knew, like, the one Achilles heel in all of this entire season that's been in the back of my head is, like, Sith Eternal Emperor is just a battering ram for the Jedi Master Luke plus Fast Gas, which has been so good, but just, I mean, it's Sith Eternal Emperor, right? That was never going to be on the table as like a whole matchup. But yeah, all right, I guess I'm just gonna go get some work done tonight and find out my fate tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. I am going to try to be a little bit sneaky. I'm going to lock into GAC with a Swift Eternal Emperor that's not fully built, and then just, like, get him to Relic 7 right at lock so that it psychs people out. Because just without the ult, I don't think he's really worth the GP. I don't think he's really worth signing up for more 3 versus 4. I don't know. I might wait and see how he attacks tomorrow, and like, if today goes well, then maybe I just do it. Like, if my defense just does do the work that I think it can do. I mean, the Relic Piet thing was largely just for Eternal Rex, right? And like, we are actually fairly close to like being able, God. Not my M troopers. We are. I looked at his and just saw all relics and said, like, we could sneak in a range. There is also the consideration that, like, Gideon is going to make things weird eventually once he goes farmable. About, like, if you do go Gideon with troopers, who is he replacing? Because if you relic through both of these and Gideon swaps out one, then you kind of just wasted resources. That trooper being a flexible character, but not necessarily flex that often anymore. Great to see a shortage of Zetas. I don't think it's a shortage. I think he's just been moving at a fast pace, account, you know, building wise. So she's just spending Zetas as he gets them. Would be my choice. That's why I think it's just that case and not that he's pinching Zetas, because he does miss a couple of Zetas that I feel like you don't pinch. Most of his decision making has been God tier. Like going down the row, like every best Zeta I encountered so far. This used to be my JTR as well. I only did this for Relic 7 and I would take this one back if I could. Yep. Comment analysis I maybe disagree on. This, I mean, I don't even know what the last time I've used this honestly was aside from 3v3. Crackling Doom, I'm kind of a sucker for, even though realistically I don't think it matters that much anymore. It's fun for EPP, but it's like luxury. This is kind of a crazy one to miss, but I mean, if all you're doing is chucking him into a perimeter Kylo team, then it doesn't really matter, right? You're not using it for 5v5. Yeah. It's just a wild amount of lean decision making. Plus, I don't know. It always is just gonna come down to the fact that I decided to stop being so stingy with Zeta dishing out just because I knew that, like, I feel like my account could have been like 5.4-ish or something. But I kind of reached the point where it's just like, okay, our match is going to continue to be boring unless we fluff up a little bit. We do just kind of have to. So I just get, I mean, Zeta's also just got a lot more common. So being stingy really doesn't matter as much anymore when, like, I mean, we spent a couple as well. We gave one to Dooku just because, and we're already still sitting on 6.5. Alright. I don't know. We'll see. If I do my sneaky Emperor plan, then we might not get a good idea of how matchmaking is going to run until next 5v5 season. But yeah, we'll see. I'm curious how this is going to go for them. He's got SE and JML. Yeah, we'll see. Hard to predict. I think we're good there. All right. Thank you all for stopping by. I'm actually still pretty happy about this. It's possible that the strategy was a bit of an overreaction. I do think that, like, again, with the dynamic, I think that he had the advantage, so I had to make a drastic move to try to get priority back. His choice countered mine slightly, but it's just gonna make everything complicated for everyone, so we shall see. Yeah. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you all have a good rest of your evening and a good rest of your Grand Arena round. Peace out.